All right, it is Saturday, December 18th, 2021. The Knicks take on the Celtics, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Boston is -5, totals 210.5. We're 5-0 with a push in our last six $1.99 daily best plays on brockpage.com. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 16 college football tier package picks on that very same webpage. And if you're still on the fence about getting a package on my safe and secure website, just keep in mind we currently have over 940 members who are signed up and active on that site right now. But despite being favored in this one, Boston lost 4 out of their last 5 ball games, 1 of 4 against the spread during that span. The Celtics have done a lackluster job of shooting the basketball. They're in the bottom 10 in offensive field goal percentage, bottom 10 in shooting the 3 ball as well. Meanwhile, defensively, the Celtics are in the bottom 10 in rebounding at home. And when it comes to availability or lack thereof, Horford, Schroeder, Parker, Hernan-Gomez, Williams, and Hauser, they're all questionable for today's contest. Meanwhile, for New York, Barrett, Toppin, Quickly, Knox, and Grimes, they are out for them. Rose is questionable. Having said that, though, their leading scorer, Julius Randle, he's currently available, barring any unforeseen changes. Randall's averaging nearly 20 points a game, along with 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Meanwhile, Evan Fournier is averaging over a dozen points a game himself, along with a couple of boards. Now, the Knicks currently have a winning record on the road, and they've also done a really nice job of rebounding. The Knicks are in the top 5 in offensive rebounding on the road, top 10 in defensive rebounding away from home as well. When it comes to the total in this one, I actually do think this one could potentially get over the number, despite all the absences. New York 6-3 to the over in their last 9 ball games. Meanwhile, Boston saw 4 out of their last 7 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Knicks +5 over 210.5. Next game, Warriors, Raptors, 7:30 Eastern start time. Toronto's -9.5, totals 203. The Raptors won 4 out of their last 6 ball games, 5-1 against the number during that stretch. The Raptors allowed just 103 points per contest at the Scotiabank Arena, top 10 in defensive field goal percentage at home. Now, scoring-wise, Freddie VanVleet is averaging just about 20 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6.5 assists for Freddie. He's also drilling nearly 40% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Pascal Siakam is scoring over 19 points a game himself. 7 boards, 3 assists for Siakam. They're going up against a Golden State team who's essentially going to be unrecognizable tonight. Curry, Wiggins, Poole, Porter, Iguodala, and Green, they're all out. And even when they were healthy, the Warriors have actually done a pretty poor job of covering the point spread here recently. They're just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, 3-6 against the number in their last 9. And for some reason, the Warriors don't shoot from the foul line all that well on the road. They're in the bottom 10 in road offensive field goal. Holy cow, they're in the bottom 10 in road offensive free throw percentage. They're also in the bottom 10 in second quarter scoring on the road. Bottom 10 in first quarter points allowed away from home as well. Now, total-wise, Golden State's 10-3 to the under when traveling, 21-8 to the under for the whole season. I'm going to lean toward Toronto -9.5, under 203. Next matchup, Magic Nets, 7:30 Eastern start time. Brooklyn's -5.5, totals 211. As far as the Nets go, Aldridge, Durant, Harden, Johnson, Bembry, Carter, and Brown, they are all out. Claxton and Duke are questionable. Now, their available leading scorer is going to be Patty Mills, who's averaging 29 minutes a night and just 13 points a game. Mills is also averaging just 1 rebound and 2 assists per contest as well. And even though tonight is zero indication to the caliber of players that are normally participating, the Nets have failed to cover in 7 out of their last 10 meetings with Orlando. And speaking of the Magic, they're entirely used to playing shorthanded this season, so tonight's outages shouldn't really bother them one bit. Moore and Carter Williams, they're out as usual. Ross, Wagner, Bamba, Hampton, and Brisdakis, they are out as well. But Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter Jr., they are not officially ruled out yet. There's a chance we should see these guys in action. Anthony's the team's leading scorer with just about 20 points a night, along with 6 boards, 5 assists. Meanwhile, Wendell Carter Jr. is scoring over 12.5 points a game himself, 9 boards, 2.5 assists for the center. And once again, the Magic's been used to playing shorthanded. They're also covering in 50% of their road games this year. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Orlando's last 4 fell under the number. Meanwhile, Brooklyn went 60% to the under in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward Orlando plus 5.5, under 211. Next matchup, it is going to be Clippers Thunder, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. LA's -6, totals 211. The Clippers won 4 out of their last 5 ball games, 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. The Clippers are in the top 10 in guarding the 3 ball. They're also giving up only 104 points per contest. Now, scoring-wise, Paul George is averaging 25 points a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Reggie Jackson averages 17.5 points a night himself, 3 rebounds, 4 assists for Reg. LA's in the top 10 in shooting the 3 ball. They're taking on a Thunder team who's on a 3-game losing streak, and they also dropped 8 out of their last 10. OKC's winning just 28% of their home games, and they score fewer points per contest than any other team in basketball. OKC also makes just 30% of their 3-pointers. Now, injury-wise, Lou Dort is questionable for the Thunder. Meanwhile, for Los Angeles, Ibaka and Preston are out. Batum and George are questionable. 5 out of LA's last 9 ball games got over the posted number. Meanwhile, 5 out of OKC's last 7 got over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LA Clippers -6, over 211. Next matchup, Wizards Jazz, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Utah's -10, numbers 223. The Jazz won 8 out of their last 9, 67% against the number during that stretch. The Jazz are scoring more points per contest than any other team in the NBA. They're also leading the association in offensive field goal percentage. Donovan Mitchell scoring just about 25 points a game, 3 rebounds, 5 assists for D. Mitch. Meanwhile, Bojan Bogdanovic is draining 42% of his 3 balls, 16 points a night and 3 boards for Bogey. Now, defensively, the Jazz are leading the NBA in rebounding the basketball. They're also giving up just 104 points a game. They're taking on a Washington club who's on a 4-game losing streak, 2-8 straight up in their last 10. They also failed to cover the number in 9 out of their last 10 ball games as well. The Wizards are scoring only 102 points per contest on the road. They're also making just 30% of their 3-pointers in that same category. Now, injury-wise, Bryant and Hachimura, they're both still out indefinitely. Corey Kispert is questionable. When it comes to the total on this one, Washington's 5-1 to the over in their last 6 ball games, 80% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Jazz saw their last 3 straight get over the line themselves, 8-1 to the over in their last 9. Give me Utah -10, over 223. Next and final matchup, Cavs Bucks, 9 o'clock East. Cleveland's -3, totals 214. The Cavs are on a 5-game winning streak. And more impressive, they've successfully covered the point spread in their last 13 straight outings. As a matter of fact, Cleveland's the best covering team in the NBA. 86% against the spread on the road, 25-5 against the number overall for the season. Darius Garland is dropping 19 points a game, 3 rebounds, 7 assists for Garland. He's also drilling nearly 40% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Jared Allen is averaging 11 rebounds a game, 16 points a night for the center. Now, defensively, the Cavs allowed just 101 points per contest. They're limiting their opponents to just 32% shooting from three land. They're taking on a depleted Bucks team who may be going to work here without Giannis and Chris Middleton. Both are questionable. And in addition to that, Matthews, Ojale, and Thonis are questionable as well. Portis is out. Now, the Bucks have done a pretty bad job covering the point spread at home this year. They're just 5-9 against the spread at the Fiserv Forum. Bottom 3 in home fourth quarter scoring. When it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of Milwaukee's last 9 got over the line, throwing out the Pacer game. Meanwhile, 4 out of Cleveland's last 7 got over the total themselves, getting rid of that Houston contest. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland, -3, over 214. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 5-0 with a push in our last 6 daily bet. 5-0 with a push in our last 6 $1.99 daily best plays. I like the Knicks +5 over 210.5. Toronto -9.5 under 203. Orlando +5.5 under 211. LA Clippers -6 over 211. Utah Jazz -10 over 223. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are also hitting at 63% in our last 16 college football tier package picks on brockpage.com as well. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland -3 over 214. And with that, guys, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys get a membership here today, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.